Hello everybody, and welcome back to Animal Crossing New Leaf. Welcome, Amiibo. We have a fossil right here. Okay, that's convenient. So, I know I ramble a lot about World of Warships. I need to ramble more about this, mostly because this pertains to every game. So this isn't just a World of Warships ramble, but I'm going to be using World of Warships as my base for this ramble. And it comes off of basically a discussion I was just having with somebody. Basically about how they feel that Wargaming, the developers behind World of Warships, don't listen to the player base. Except they do listen. The thing is, though, they listen to everybody. Not just the people who agree with, you know, whatever this person wants. And I exemplified this by pointing out that, you know, based on their comment, they basically, I could get the impression right away that they don't like submarines and carriers. They probably want them either nerfed or removed from the game. I don't. So right there, who should Wargaming listen to? The player who's happy with how things are, or the player that isn't? They kind of cancel each other out. Adding to that, there are other things in the game that I could point out to Wargaming that should probably be addressed and fixed, that are more important to address and fix. Like, I've talked about the overmatch mechanics. Well, at the point the game is at with development, overmatch needs a rework or a removal. The mechanic worked fine when it was niche. It's no longer niche. That's the problem. And even then, it didn't exactly work fine. It existed. Bandit Mouse. Rizzo. I didn't do any research or anything before choosing the place to camp, but I think I lucked out with this town. And given his voice, I think he's, a thief of unmentionables. Especially given his name. But, like, that's, like, overmatch isn't even the only thing I could be like, yeah, this should probably be reworked or, you know, something done about. Another thing can just simply be, you know, another thing is simply how kind of absurd destroyer torpedoes have gotten over the years. Like, we went from, to have a fast torpedo, it had to be short-ranged, to we now have the European destroyers with, you know, Holland at the top, which Holland's torpedoes can nearly reach 100 knot speed. They don't hit terribly hard, but they have like I think it's like a 13 or 16 kilometer range to them, somewhere in that range. So not only are they long range, but they're fast too, which lets the destroyer fire its torpedoes and accurately hit with them from longer ranges than any other destroyer that came before it. Oh, lost item. Which, as you might imagine, causes some problems. Even more so, where the go-to way to deal with destroyers is a tool called radar. Now, radar has a specific set range. And when these ranges were being set, initially, they basically, the main three ranges of, okay, I can pick up the rest of the coins too. The main three ranges of radar are 9, 10, and 12 kilometers. The 12-kilometer radars in general have the shortest duration. The 10s are kind of in the middle, and then the 9s have the longest duration. Yeah, it makes sense, given the difference in range. And the radar worked fine. 9-kilometer radar wasn't bad to have. It worked because some of the more dangerous torpedoes you were going to be encountering were, 12-kilometer max range. Gabby, I'll be with you in like a second. I want to dig up this fossil. I was kind of hoping she wouldn't want to say something, but... Hey, I heard others calling you by a new nickname. They're calling you Hun, right? Can I use it too? Sure. Yippee! You'll be Hun to me from now on. I also have a lost item. Is this yours? You drop something? Specifically this something? Sorry, that's not mine. It might be Kurlos's. I think last time we had this mitten, it was Kurlos's. Yeah, we may as well see if it's Mott's. God, I hope he has his boxes packed and he's moving away. Damn it. Hey, I made it, cleats. We'll take a load off. So what's up? Did you drop something? Specifically this something? Oh, my glove! With this thing, I'll be able to play keeper again. You guys will be glad. That's not a... Okay, way to do a good deed, dude. I'd like to give you a reward. Just happen to have my cool stained glass lamp. All yours. But, like, these days, as you might guess from me mentioning the European destroyer, like, torpedo ranges across the board are going up. As the game progresses, they're just getting longer and longer, and that's basically put us in a position where 9-kilometer radar is nearly useless. 10 kilometer is the bare minimum for usefulness, and 12 is almost required. We have, like, 2 useful 12-kilometer radars at tier 10. Wait, no, 3. There's 3 now. 2 of those are premiums. You see the problem. Like... there is only one useful tech tree 12-kilometer radar, and that's on the Alexander Nevsky. Just making sure I don't have any bamboo down here. Yeah. Aside from that, there is the premium Moskva. Or, I'm sorry, the special ship Moskva. Hello, Fuchsia. Oh, Pookie! Howdy, sister. So anyway, do you need something? I want to chat. There's nothing big coming up this week. That's not too bad. I always go full throttle for every single festival. Even I can't keep up that pace forever. Since we have some downtime, I'm going to save up my strength for the next big event. I don't even know when that would be. I don't know holidays. I do know I'm kind of exhausted. Hello, Rooney. Hey, Steven. Press C to survive and punches. You need something? What's the latest? Lately, I get the feeling there's a lot less trash and weeds, yeah? Fewer wilted flowers, too. It's because of that Keep Sapphire Beautiful ordinance thing you enacted. Yeah, it does look pretty nice. Yeah, the other ship is Brisbane. Another premium. Or special ship, because they're both tier 10s. They're premiums. Port, come on, press C to surviving. Let's talk. Feel a little hungry. In the mood for some fresh fruit. I'm not picky. Any kind is fine. Count on me, Lobo. And Jeremiah. Oof. Howdy, Cleats. Does bad weather make you sleepy too, Blub? So what can I do for you? Want to chat? Hey, Cleats, wanna play hide and seek? You seem like someone would be good at it. Sure, I'll play. It'll be boring with just us two, so let's invite some other people. Okay. 15 minutes. I got plenty of time. Go! But yeah, like, warships could really use more meaningful radars being added. But those aren't things that the people who dislike subs and CVs want. They want to hyper-focus on the subs and CVs and not care about any other issues in the game. And they may not even see these other things as issues. Oh, I have, like, no space. Hold on. I need a space for my reward. Which, as you might imagine, can be quite annoying. Hey, Rooney. What? Did you find me? Wow, I must be losing my edge. Oh, there's still 2 more people hiding, right? I'll win the game unless you find everyone. I know. I should actually check these trees back here just in case. And I mean, like, the funny thing is with, like, you know, a lot of people go on and on about how carrier spotting is so busted because, like, if a carrier spots you, then his teammates can shoot at you and kill you before you can do anything. And yeah, that's true. That carrier spotting is only so powerful because Overmatch allows ships to just ignore your armor at range. Remove Overmatch and carrier spotting becomes so much weaker. You know, it's not the carrier spotting itself that's the problem. It's issues compounding that is the problem. Hello, Jeremiah. Yikes, Cleats. Can't believe you found me, Blub. You got one more hider. Wait, forget I said that. I totally forgot you're not on my team. Poor Jeremy. Whoop. Hey, Spot. This is kind of coming out of nowhere. I was thinking maybe it's time for me to try an image change, you know? So, maybe think of a thoughtful greeting for me to use. I'm kind of busy. You got Bork right now, right? Yeah, okay. Woof. Woof, woof. Am I doing it right? Yeah, you got it. So woof, hey, it feels kind of weird and right at the same time. Thanks, Spot. No problem. I usually like to actually stop and think about those, but like, you kind of caught me in the middle of something. And I believe it's at the point where Gabby will be moving, so like, I need to actually recheck locations I've already checked. Oh. Hi. Eek! Yuck, you found me. Well, good for you. Hats off to you, Blub. Take my sleek wall as your trophy. Let's play hide and seek again sometime. I need to, like, get these fossils identified and, like, sold. But, like, it's just one of those things of, like, a lot of people get so fixated on, the developers aren't listening to me or listening to the community, when really they are. It's just the community's not in agreement on what it wants. Like, there's always an anecdote I go back to whenever, like, this sort of thing happens. And it's an anecdote taught in game design. Where, basically, a pasta sauce company was surveying its customers over and over and over again on whether they would like a chunky pasta sauce. And every single time, the majority of people said, no, we don't want that. And then the company on a whim decided, you know what, these surveys are nice and all, but let's just make it anyway and see what happens. Let's make a sample, let's let people try it. And then people tried it. And those same people that said, no, we don't want this, were suddenly saying, we want this. Because the customer is definitely not always right. They do not always know what they want. That sentiment of the customer is always right isn't that the customer is always correct. A customer cannot walk in and say 2 + 2 = fish, and that actually be the correct statement. What the customer is always right means is don't argue with the customer. That's all it means. You don't have to do what they want, but don't argue with them. That's literally all the customer is always right means. Okay, what are you after? No. Okay, what is the turnip price? 84. Okay. So I did not miss a good price in the morning unless this is a random week. The thing is, like, I was kind of awake. I just, like, I could have probably got up and recorded, but I was just too tired. I didn't get to sleep until, like, around 7, 8 in the morning, so. That's fun. But, like, that is very much something that people could really take to learning when it comes to stuff. It's just, like, just because you feel a certain way doesn't mean you're right. I mean, even with the changes I would like to see to World of Warships, it doesn't mean I'm right. It doesn't mean they're the correct changes to be made. About your food. Now, they are more based on just simply looking at the game mechanically and being, yeah, these are kind of problems. A picnic shirt. Okay. I need to get that lamp out of the letters. You know what? I want to do some river fishing. And, like, it's very much just one of those things where like, people are so fixated into their echo chambers and so just focused on, like, oh, their favorite content creator is right, they know what they're talking about, to stop and actually be like, well, maybe they don't. I mean, I remember a while back, and this was honestly hilarious that this content creator was trying to pull this. One of the more popular content creators ran a poll on his Twitter, basically saying, you know, hey, vote if you like carriers or if you don't like carriers. He is very anti-carrier. He then tried to use that poll, caught a guppy. I didn't think I already had one of those. I guess I must have. But he then tried to use that poll as an argument for, oh, well, see, the majority of the player base dislikes carriers. Because some, like, 90% of the people who, like, responded to his poll chose they disliked carriers. But he also worded the poll in such a way that it was obvious that, you know, it was obvious he disliked carriers. And him being a community contributor, all of the people who disliked carriers flocked to vote they didn't like carriers on his poll because, well, hey, he's a community contributor. He can talk to Wargaming. If he shows them this, then maybe they'll listen. And the basic response from Wargaming was, yeah, the majority of the player base does not dislike carriers. To which this person basically got very angry because how could Wargaming say that his poll didn't represent the majority of the player base's opinion? And it's pretty easy. It's because Wargaming gets their stats from in-game. They get their stats from how the players actually react when playing the game. Like, even more funny is when people will go to, like the player count over time and be like, well, when the change was made from RTS carriers to regular carriers, there was a small drop-off in player count. And there was. Of the RTS carrier players that only played the game because they liked RTS carriers, quitting the game. Because there was nothing left in the game for them. So they quit. Some have come back over time. Because they missed playing the game, and then they started playing the action carriers, and, you know, they didn't like it as much as they liked their RTS carriers, but they're still not bad. They're not as strong as they used to be, but, you know, that's not overly a bad thing. I think that's my inventory. Yep. So, like, that's kind of the problem with echo chambers in general, is you'll be convinced that you're right because your echo chamber agrees with you. And you're not right. Just because your echo chamber agrees does not mean that everyone agrees. Which is also where, like, there's a discussion about basically the carrier changes on the World of Warships Discord. It has more people unhappy than happy. More of the player base is unhappy that carriers are getting nerfed than there are people happy that carriers are getting nerfed. Carriers are still getting nerfed anyway. Of which people are also unhappy that Wargaming isn't doing what the console version of the game is doing, not understanding that those are kind of two completely different games. Because people aren't very bright, I guess. But yeah, I should probably get this ended off. My throat's still a bit scratchy from doing a stream 2 nights ago for you guys, like last night for me. It's not great. My throat feels funky. But yeah, that is going to be it for today. Thank you all very much for watching. And hopefully I shall see you back here tomorrow for more Animal Crossing New Leaf Welcome Amiibo. See you all then.